Welcome to Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, with your host, Steve Garrett, lifetime member of the National Corvette Museum, president of the Corvette Club of Kansas City, Missouri, and radio disc jockey at the #1 radio station in Kansas City for over 45 years. Here's Steve Garrett.
Thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, and the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. I appreciate you tuning in. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call them at 833-840-5334. You can listen to Corvette Today on all podcast platforms. You can also listen on your smart device. Just say, "Hey Google," or "Alexa, play the podcast called Corvette Today," and you're connected. And be sure to visit the Corvette Today website. It's CorvetteToday.com. You can access everything there, including the Corvette Today merchandise store. You can also join our Corvette Today Facebook group there as well. Also, make sure you sign up for the Corvette Today emails, notifications, and updates at CorvetteToday.ck.page. And be sure to subscribe to our Corvette Today YouTube channel. See all Corvette Today episodes on YouTube as well. And be sure to patronize our flagship sponsors of Corvette Today, MidEngineCorvetteForum.com, the forum that focuses on the new mid-engine C8 Corvette. Meet a lot of fellow Corvette enthusiasts like yourself at MidEngineCorvetteForum.com. Soul Performance Products, developed and manufactured in the United States, the Soul Performance Products exhaust portfolio has been tailored to elevate the experience of the world's most exciting sports cars, including the latest generation of the Corvette. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. Aerolarri Wheels, a true forged wheel with over 20 unique styles to choose from for your C8 and wide-body versions of the C7, C6, and C5 Corvette. It's an amazing value, starting at only $23.88 for a set of 4 fully forged wheels. And use the promo code CT111 and get $100 off your purchase. Visit Aerolarri.com. Ciocca Corvettes. If you're a Corvette enthusiast, and I know you are since you're listening and watching Corvette Today, then you need to know about Ciocca Corvette. They're based in Atlantic City, where you can find over 100 new and pre-owned vets on the lot and inbound. Ciocca also ships Corvettes all over the country, custom ordered to your specifications. They're staffed with experienced pros who can answer all your questions. So don't compromise. Visit CioccaCorvette.com. That's CIOCCA Corvette.com and find out more. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. E5 Wheels. E5 Wheels is a passionate and dedicated wheel company that serves only Corvette. They make spun-forged wheels for your C8, C7, and C6 Corvette. With the best fitment in the industry, E5 Wheels ensures your wheels complement the aesthetics and functionality while optimizing the performance of your Corvette. Visit e5wheels.com or call them at 305-964-7429. If you're ready to finance your next Corvette, Woodside Credit is the go-to place for enthusiasts. With the lowest monthly payments in America and a process designed to make getting behind the wheel quick and easy, it's no surprise Corvettes are one of the most popular vehicles to finance. Visit woodsidecredit.com to estimate your low monthly payment with a quick quote. And be sure to mention Corvette Today as your referral for a special gift when your loan is funded. And a shout out to Canadian Corvette Forum and Corvette Forum, welcoming Corvette enthusiasts from around the world. All right, my friend, here we go. It's time to bring you the latest Corvette news and headlines with my pal Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger.com. As you know, Keith is here every other week, and together we keep you current and up to date on what's happening with America's sports car. Keith, welcome back to the show. Buddy, we've got Tampa weather here in Kansas City, sunny and 78. I think spring is peaking out a little bit early this year.
Oh, yeah. And with weather like that, you've got to get your car out because even though it's mid-March, you just don't know how long that good weather might last or if another storm might come through. So, heck yeah, if you got good weather, get that Corvette out and get on the road.
Buddy, I remember when I bought my first Corvette, you think back to when you were 16 years old and you always said to your mom, "Mom, can I run an errand for you? Do you need anything from the grocery store?" You just want to drive, right?
You need to go this, go there, go to the dry cleaner. Yep.
Exactly. And, at my age, I still feel like, okay, where do I need to go that I can drive the Corvette? So I'm thinking just the way you are, buddy. That's for sure.
That's right. Well, I hit the bank and the dentist last week, and so not very exciting cruises, but I do it in a Corvette. It makes it all better.
That's right. Absolutely. Well, buddy, let's start off the show like we usually do. Let's get a Corvette production update from the Bowling Green assembly plant.
Absolutely. So we got current production production standing currently at 17,180 Corvettes produced for the 2025 model year. That count includes 10,482 Stingrays, 4,924 Z06s, and 1,774 E-Rays. Pretty interesting there. Again, we're getting up to nearly 5,000 Z06s, which will probably happen here in the next day or so. There's just continuing to pump out these cars. We do have some interesting things happening. The assembly plant will be closed for the next 2 weeks as part of their improvement projects for the assembly line. They announced actually 4 weeks of closures maybe a month ago, and already we had a shutdown for the week of February 22nd. So after this 2-week closure, there'll be just one more closure, and that's going to actually happen the week of May 19th. Again, the idea was that they're going to try to improve the line for wide-body Corvettes. There's some other things going on, which we're going to talk about a little bit later.
Sounds good. Also, GM issued a full stop for Corvette orders for March. That kind of left dealers in the dark as far as allocations, didn't it?
Absolutely. So, yeah, we really have two situations happening with these orders. The first is those initial ZR1 orders that went into the system exactly 1 month ago. We told you how those first ZR1 orders had 100% constraints on the high wing, so that when public outrage seemed to really hit a fever pitch there of not having that wing, they decided, let's pause it until we can find some more wings. I don't know how you just go out and find more wings, but that's what they're doing right now. These orders are still holding at 2,000 status. And again, no communication to dealers about how this is all going to play out. We're still dealing with that situation, but now we've got the second issue is that March we were supposed to have another round of orders going into the system, and GM appears to have paused everything, including those for Stingrays, E-Rays, and the Z06. There are no allocations for any of these models in March, and again, no communications from GM about the missed order cycles. Where this gets even more crazy is that, if you remember, GM originally distributed an end of the model year dates to dealers back in January that showed March was supposed to be the last month for ordering in 2025. That model year was set to end on May 30th, and then the start of 2026 would begin on June 2nd. However, now dealers are actually having target production weeks for upcoming orders that have spilled into June, and we've actually heard one in July. So it's possible that we are looking at an extension of the 2025 model year. A lot of confusion there. Why would you put out these dates and not to do them? But it's kind of crazy here what's going on. To recap, we have no orders going in for March, but it looks like the model year is being extended possibly into June or July. We're still hoping for some guidance for dealers so they know what's going on with these ZR1 orders that were placed over a month ago. We were assuming more orders would go in for March. Those are obviously put on hold with the others. Kind of a wait and see what goes on. Kind of a crazy ordering situation, but nothing out of the ordinary when it comes to General Motors.
Yeah, it does make sense to extend the model year for a month or two. And with all that being said, the live inventory tracker shows that we have over 5,800 Corvettes on the ground already.
So we've been looking at this Chevy live inventory tracker over the last few months to see where the inventory is for new Corvettes on the ground. So as of Friday, March 7th, the Chevrolet.com live inventory tracker was showing 5,781 Corvettes on the ground. That was actually a 5.7% decrease from the last time we looked at it, which was February 1st. The other thing that we want to keep track of is the remaining 2024 Corvettes on dealer lots. Back on February 1st, that number was 1,357 Corvettes remaining from 2024. As of March 7th, that number dropped to 1,009 Corvettes. So that was a 25% decrease in the inventory over those 5 weeks there. There's still 1,000 cars from 2024 on dealer lots that are waiting for new homes. You can get great deals on these cars. Great price discounts are available. And you know, one of the great things about the live inventory tracker is that if you've got an idea of the color you want or the model, you can actually go in and select some of that stuff, and then it'll show you those available models, which then you can search by distance or price of the car as well. We break down the number of colors still remaining for 2024s, and all 14 colors are still available there. If there's something specific you're looking for and you really want it, you can use the live inventory tracker to go find it.
Come on, everybody, buy a Corvette. I feel like they're like lost puppies or lost cats. You know, we have some beauties out there, and they need good homes. Go buy a Corvette.
We're not talking about the island of misfit toys or anything. These are great-looking cars, and they deserve a good home.
Absolutely right. Also, Keith, this is another big story. The UAW at Bowling Green Assembly Plant is kind of bracing because they're looking at a potential loss of workers because GM is planning to slow down production on Corvette. What's the backstory on that?
Again, this is the word that we got back in January that the plant would be reconfigured to improve the production of wide-body Corvettes over the current Stingray. We got confirmation with 4 weeks of shutdowns. We just went over. But now, thanks to our friends over at the Mid-Engine Corvette Forum, we also got a memo from the local UAW management to its workers at Bowling Green that discusses the upcoming plan to derate production. That's what they call it, derate, which we assume means a slowing of the rate of Corvettes produced each hour on the assembly line. The UAW discusses the potential layoffs in this memo. They think that approximately 66 senior employees could be lost when these announcements come, most likely in mid-April. We are really hoping for a positive outcome that would allow prioritization of the wide body production without having to lose any valuable members of the team, but we're slow in production, and I think what's going to happen is there's some consolidation of jobs on that line as well. We're keeping our ears to the ground and seeing what else may happen here, but again, it's just kind of a fluid situation that we're keeping an eye on.
Okay, that sounds good. Our last story in the news section, Keith, there is a class action lawsuit against GM for shuttering 8-speed automatic transmissions, and that survived the motion to dismiss. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. So going back to the C7 days, there's been several issues that have come from this 8-speed automatic transmission that was not only produced for the Corvette, but I think it went into like 13 total GM cars.
Okay.
This was Judge David Lawson. He made a ruling in the Cole Ulrich versus General Motors suit, which is all about the Hydromatic 8L90 and the 8L45 transmissions. The plaintiffs allege that the transmissions have two defects: automatic transmission fluid that lacks robustness to moisture that leads to shutter problems, and an insufficient valve body architecture that can purge trapped air, and that leads to harsh shifts. So you've got the shuttering and harsh shifts that have become kind of the hallmarks of people that have trouble with these. That's what they really see. And when we say shuttering, like you're driving down the road and your gear shifter is just moving back and forth like crazy, but it also deals with like hard stops and some other things going on. So it's not a very good ride.
Gotcha.
The judge actually ruled that there were adequate facts to suggest the vehicles were not fit for ordinary purpose of providing reasonably safe transportation because of these specific transmissions. And then they turned down the dismissal requested by GM lawyers. There's actually a couple different lawsuits going on over these transmission issues, and it's believed that those still withstanding as they move forward will eventually be merged into one.
Okay.
As this has actually been going on a long time, I think we were detailing this back in 2019, 2020 or so. We just continue to post the updates as we get them. So it's just one of these things that's going to go on and on, it looks like.
Crazy. All right, buddy, it's time for our first break. When we come back, it's Corvette racing and Corvette rumors up on deck next, here on Corvette Today.
We all know that wheels make the car. Wheelcraft's PVD chrome finish in bright chrome or black chrome will take your Corvette to new levels. And it comes with a 5-year warranty. Durability is a defining feature of the Wheelcraft finish. Their PVD chrome is superior to traditional chrome, with a finish that is brake dust resistant and cleans effortlessly with soap and water. Wheelcraft offers factory wheel exchange for select C4 through C8 models, or they can apply the PVD finish to your current wheels. No matter what generation you own, Wheelcraft will transform the look of your Corvette. With every Corvette comes a unique story, and Wheelcraft has embraced this idea. When you purchase your new set of wheels, you receive a lifetime membership to the Wheelcraft Pit Crew, granting you access to your own page on Wheelcraft's website, where you can post pictures and tell your Corvette story. Visit our website at wheelcraft.com or call 833-639-4231. Arrive in style with Wheelcraft.
Hey, Corvette lovers, this is Brian Sarr from IntelliSense Family Office. You've formerly known us as True Wealth and Company. First off, a huge congratulations to Steve Garrett on celebrating 5 amazing years of Corvette Today. We've been proud sponsors every mile of the way. You know the thrill and drive and the pride of ownership, but here's the big question. Do you have the same confidence in managing your wealth? At IntelliSense Family Office, we specialize in helping high net worth individuals like you protect, grow, and enjoy their wealth. Whether you're a successful entrepreneur, a professional athlete, or someone who's worked hard to achieve your financial goals, we've got you covered with personalized expert advice. We understand the unique challenges you face and the dreams you have for the future. From advanced tax planning to succession planning, we provide comprehensive services tailored to your needs. Our goal? To give you peace of mind so you can focus on what you love. Ready to take your financial management to the next level? Visit IntelliSense.com or reach out to us today at 913-653-8783. Let's drive your financial success together. I'm Brian Sarf, and I look forward to helping you live the dream. Save the wave and see you on the road. Investment advisory services offered through IntelliSense Investment Solutions Incorporated, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Rev up your ride with the ultimate upgrade. The Radiator Grill Store is your go-to destination for top-notch C8 Corvette Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray accessories. Elevate your style with custom-painted engine bay covers, sleek front splitters, and side skirts that scream sophistication. Keep your C8 protected with premium Radiator Grill screens. Stand out from the crowd at car shows and beyond. Use code CT10 for an exclusive 10% discount off your total purchase at radiatorgrillstore.com. Don't miss out on turning heads. Upgrade your Corvette today.
And now, back to Corvette Today. with your host and my husband, Steve Garrett.
Thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. It's the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Wheelcraft carries all the latest factory wheels for the C8 Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray, and popular wheel designs from previous generations as well. Along with a bright chrome and black chrome, Wheelcraft now offers bronze and custom colors at half the cost of OEM. For more information, visit wheelcraft.com or just give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is my buddy Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger. We keep you current and up to date on what's happening in the world of Corvette. In segment number 2, we always cover Corvette racing and Corvette rumors. Keith, let's start off with racing first. I hope I pronounced this name right. It's Johor Motorsports Racing. Isn't that right?
It's either Johor or Johor. I'm not quite certain because this is a racing team out of Malaysia.
Yeah.
And they just announced that they're going to be competing in Asia with 2 Corvette Z06 GT3Rs. And the 2 brothers, Prince Jeffrey Ibrahim, I think, and Prince Abu Bakar Ibrahim will be among the drivers behind the wheel of these new cars. Their program is still in development. They put out a really cool video announcing the acquisition of the 2 Z06s. And we believe they're actually going to be competing in the Asian Le Mans series, which is great because now you've got IMSA, which is basically the American Le Mans series. You've got the Europeans World Endurance Championship. That's the European Le Mans series. And now we get the Asian Le Mans series. So we've got coverage of Z06 Corvettes and all those different series. And we've got some more coming up. So let's keep going.
That's pretty cool. We're everywhere, aren't we? This is a little bit easier to pronounce. Stellar Motorsports is also going to field 2 Z06 GT3Rs in the GT World Challenge Europe series, aren't they?
Correct. Yeah, they're a British racing team. They're taking over 2 Corvette Z06s again. These 2 Corvettes will race in the 2025 GT World Challenge Europe Series. The addition of the Corvette means there's 10 manufacturers competing in that series. So it's everybody: Aston Martin, Audi, BMW, Ferrari, Ford, Lamborghini, McLaren, Mercedes-AMG, and Porsche, just to name a few. The World Challenge Europe Series gets underway with a 6-hour endurance cup at Circuit Paul Ricard in France, I believe, and that's April 11th through the 13th. We're going to have Z06s all over the globe racing for glory. It's pretty exciting. It's hard to follow all the teams, but we're going to do our best to capture the highlights. Of course, the World Endurance team for Bahrain, they just won their class over there. Another win for the Corvette. And of course, AWA Racing won at Daytona. So we've got a really good momentum going right now with a variety of teams, and hopefully we can continue this push, especially with Sebring happening coming up here.
Yeah, absolutely. We're hot right now, that's for sure. Also, this is really cool. Antonio Garcia had donated his racing suit to help Spain's flood victims. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, so we got a call a couple weeks back from our friend Wes Wong. He's the former NCM board member and former FBI guy. He's an ambassador of Pratt Miller Motorsports, and he was telling me about this charity auction featuring this racing suit donated by Antonio. The proceeds going to these victims of these floods in Spain. They lost like 230 people in these flash floods. A bunch of people, I guess, over there decided to donate some stuff. Garcia's racing suit is part of that collection. I think it sold for about $1,000. So good job to the person who purchased it.
Nice.
And Wes had told me that if that was a U.S.-based fan that had purchased it, they could actually pick it up at one of the IMSA races in person. They'd actually get a tour of the Pratt & Miller car haulers as well. Hopefully, a Corvette racing fan did pick that up because it's a really cool suit signed by Antonio. Those things make great collector items. So good job to whoever purchased it, and best wishes to all those people that were hurt in those floods.
Man, that's cool. How cool is that? Speaking of Pratt & Miller, Keith, they unveiled their livery for Sebring, which looks really, really good.
Yeah, we're used to the GTD Pro racers wearing that usual yellow and black livery. But for this race, they went with a special throwback featuring white with blue and red accents. The design is actually reminiscent of Greg Pickett's winning C4 Corvette GTO in the 1987 Detroit Grand Prix. Be asking yourself, why would they want to resemble a C4 Corvette livery from the late 1980s? And it's because of the connections. Pickett's racing C4 was built back in the day by a company called Protofab, and that's where Gary Pratt was working prior to founding Pratt Miller Motorsports.
Gotcha.
And then former Corvette racing crew chief Dan Binks actually finished the complete restoration of that Gary Pickett car. It was the number 2 Corvette racer featuring Mobil 1 as the main sponsor there. And it was driven by Ron Fellows at the 2023 Rolex Monterey Motorsports Reunion. So the car's got a new lease on life, fully restored by Dan Binks. Looks like they just want to do something special, and recognizing that, of course, being Gary Pratt worked on the car originally back in the day. Ron Fellows is now driving it. It makes sense that they wanted to kind of do something special. And of course, it's Mobil 1. If you remember last year for Mobil 1's 50th anniversary, they did a special gold and black livery. So it's kind of fun to see the cars a little bit different from the yellow and black. We did hear also from Antonio Garcia, who's expressing his hope to get that car in victory lane so they make sure they get some great photos of it as the drivers are holding up their trophies.
That's cool. That's very cool. We have only one rumor story, Keith. Spy photos captured the 2026 Kess cars, and we think we saw the new interior, didn't we?
Yeah, we've got a good time with this story over the last few days. So first, our spy photographers caught up with 5 C8 Corvette Zora prototypes up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, where they were doing some winter testing. We know they're Zoras. They've got that special radiator that's mounted vertically on the front radiator driver's side of the cars. That's only part of the cooling loop for the front electric motor there. Pretty certain that those are there, but then as the cars were driving, our spy photographer got a side shot through the window, and you could definitely see camouflage hiding that center console. And then another spy picture actually showed part of that console, and especially the screen there, and it's different from what we have now. So we definitely now have confirmation that they are doing an interior refresh for 2026 Corvettes. But the news got even better. We got photos from Justin at Horsepower Obsessed and Rick Conti showing different parts of the interior that are going to be redesigned. So we have a redesigned center console that now has a grab handle where the Great Wall of Buttons used to be. The cup holders, they won't have a door that closes over them, but they'll actually have, you could do like two-tone leather inserts. I'm thinking like black with red or natural with black, some sort of two-toning that interior of the cups. Mm-hmm. But then there's also supposedly little LED lights in the bottom to illuminate them as well. So I think that's a pretty cool picture. And, you know, you put your drink in there and it glows in the dark, I think, too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We did find out through Conti's photos that the HVAC controls for the Great Wall of Buttons are being moved to under the center infotainment screen. And then we believe, we don't know this for certain, but we believe that the personalization controls for each, the driver and the passenger, are being moved over to the doors. That's not confirmed yet, but we only saw the main controls for HVAC and not the driver's heated seats. That looks all to be over on the doors.
Okay.
And then finally, looks like we got a replacement color for the two-tone tension twilight blue interior.
Oh.
And it's a new purplish blue interior, almost indigo or cobalt. We'll have that photo up on CorvetteBlogger for you. And of course, if you're watching the YouTube version of this podcast, you'll be able to see it there as well.
Check it out. That's awesome. All right, buddy. Let's take our final break. When we come back, it's the fun side of Corvette on deck next, here on Corvette Today.
Are you ready for a better insurance policy without the Corvette tax? With Agreed Value Protection, the value of your collector vehicle will never change. Plus, you'll save money. Get a quick quote at ncminsurance.com.
The National Corvette Restorer Society is a proud sponsor of Corvette Today. Are you already an NCRS member? If not, you should consider joining, and here's why. The NCRS means community. We're a community of individuals who love the Corvette hobby and enjoy the fellowship that NCRS provides. We have NCRS chapters throughout the U.S. and Canada where members can meet monthly and share in the enjoyment of the Corvette with like-minded people. NCRS means excellence. NCRS trains some of the best and most educated judges and informed owners in the car collector world. NCRS means inclusion. Owners of both classic and new Corvettes are welcome. We offer flight and concourse judging for 53 through 07 model years and sportsman awards for Corvettes ranging from 53 through 2025. NCRS means leadership. With over 10,000 members, NCRS researches, writes, publishes, and distributes tech manuals and judging guides for the 53 through 07 Corvettes. No other Corvette organization does this, and they're available for purchase. Members also receive the bi-monthly and award-winning Restore magazine and Driveline magazine throughout the year. We also host an extensive technical discussion board at ncrs.org. Finally, NCRS means value. Many of our prestigious awards can and often do increase the value of the cars that achieve our awards. Whether you own a 53 Corvette or the latest 25 model, the NCRS has a place for you. Check us out at ncrs.org.
When you want to buy a Corvette, or any Chevrolet for that matter, get yours from Hendrick Chevrolet Shawnee Mission, located in Kansas City. Hendrick Chevrolet is the largest Corvette dealership and showroom in the Midwest. With a knowledgeable sales staff and Corvette sales specialists on hand, they'll help you build the Corvette of your dreams, and they ship nationwide. With Corvette certified master mechanics on site and a huge parts department with over 24,000 parts and $2 million in inventory, Hendrick Chevrolet is well equipped to take care of your every need. From sales to service to collision repair, Hendrick Chevrolet has you covered. Visit ChevyUSA.com or call 913-384-1550.
Hi, I'm Mark Falter, host of the Retirement Income Hour podcast and Corvette enthusiast. I know when I bought my Z06, I was thinking two things. One, these cars are incredible. And two, man, are they expensive. Owning a Corvette isn't just about driving fast. It's about living life in the fast lane. But are your finances keeping up? On my podcast, I make wealth management as smooth as your car on the open road. Whether it's planning your retirement, building your investments, or how to get this retirement account to pay for your Corvette vision, I got you covered. Search for the Retirement Income Hour podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and let's shift your finances into overdrive. I'll see you on the open road, financially and literally.
Investment advisory services offered through Mid-American Wealth Advisory Group, an SEC-registered investment advisory firm.
You're enjoying the only current podcast on Corvettes, Corvette Today.
Thanks once again for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Wheelcraft carries all the latest factory wheel designs for the C8 Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray, and popular wheel designs for previous generations. Along with bright chrome and black chrome, Wheelcraft now offers bronze and custom colors at half the cost of OEM. For more information, visit wheelcraft.com or give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is my pal, Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger. Don't forget, if you want a deeper dive into any of the stories that we cover, you can always go to CorvetteBlogger.com. In this final segment, we always cover the fun side, the lighter side of Corvette. Keith, we got a couple stories from the National Corvette Museum. It was just announced on Thursday that the NCM has found a new CEO.
Yes, his name is David Hill, and he's not to be confused with the Dave Hill that was the former chief engineer during the C4, C5 days. They're different guys, but both are connected by their enthusiasm for Corvettes. We're told that David Hill is a hands-on Corvette owner. He's restored multiple classics, including a 1971 Stingray.
Wow.
And his personal favorite is the 1967 Corvette, which he calls a beautiful car in so many ways. Hill was previously served in several CEO and leadership roles in education, energy, manufacturing, and technology jobs. He comes from Oklahoma, where he was recognized as one of the most admired CEOs in Oklahoma by the Journal Record, the leading business publication. He actually begins his job this Monday, so welcome him to the Corvette Nation, and we look forward to meeting him in person at the NCM Bash in April.
Can't wait. That's awesome. And also at the National Corvette Museum, our buddy and friend of the show, Ken Lingenfelter, has joined the board there at the NCM.
Yeah, it's an important role. The board members, they oversee operations, set the long-term goals for the nonprofit organization. So it's really great to have somebody with the leadership ability of Ken Lingenfelter. Of course, he comes from Lingenfelter Performance Engineering, which he's been running, started by his cousin, I think, John Lingenfelter back in the day. Mm-hmm. Ken comes from the business world, has all kinds of experience there, and just loves Corvettes like nobody else. So he's been involved with Corvettes and GM most of his life. His dad was actually the manager of the Fisher Body Plant, and I think Ken's been a Corvette fan since his teenager days. His appointment to the board is welcome news by Corvette fans. Hopefully we'll see him at the NCM Bash as well, which is most likely a given since they do have a major board meeting always during that time as well. Welcome, Ken, and welcome David Hill to NCM.
Yeah, Ken Lingenfelter was a perfect appointment for the National Corvette Museum Board. Also, Keith, we had a story back at the end of January. Corvette Today number 250 was the legend of the Corvette SS. Jan Hyde from the Registry of Corvette Race Cars did that show with me at the end of January, and that car actually sold for $7.7 million.
Yeah, this car was also known by its GM name, Project XP64, groundbreaking race car, purpose-built race car, tubular frame with a magnesium body, and then Zora added a factory source 283 with a ramjet fuel injection and a 4-speed manual transmission. Other features of the car included a quick change rear differential, independent front suspension, and a vacuum-assisted drum brakes for stopping power. Now, the car made its racing debut at the 1957 12 Hours of Sebring, and it lasted just 23 laps before being retired over multiple issues. One of the things that we always heard was that the magnesium body held in the heat of the car, and Zora would later say that it was literally cooking his driver, John Fitch, in the car. It was said that that was one of the real inspirations that Zora had for wanting to go mid-engine because his driver was getting cooked in this magnesium body car. You move the engine behind the driver, and then you don't have that issue. Again, a historic car. It was donated in the 60s, I believe, to the Indianapolis 500 Museum, where it's been ever since. And then the museum just decided to get rid of a few cars that were no longer really connected to racing at Indianapolis, with the 1957 Corvette SS being one of those. This is the highest selling Corvette we've ever witnessed at a public auction. Amazing, $7.7 million.
Yeah, check out that story. It's Corvette Today, number 250. It was the week of January 27th. It's an amazing story for sure. Also, Bloomington Gold has announced a new location, and it's pretty close to Kansas City.
Yeah, moving around again. They're going to move to the Worldwide Technology Raceway, which is just across the Mississippi River from St. Louis, Missouri, which is the birthplace of Corvettes from 54 to 81. Bloomington Gold will be held in Madison, Illinois. It's scheduled for Thursday, June 5th through Saturday, June 7th. Of course, they do all the Survivor Gold and benchmark judging. You'll see the gold collection and then any seminars that's going on. But now, because it's at a racetrack, the Worldwide Technology Raceway is a 1.25-mile oval track. So there's going to be some driving stuff going on. And, of course, they have an on-site karting facility as well. I think people will be calling out each other for some racing there. For registration and ticket information, visit bloomingtongold.com and hope to see you there.
That's absolutely right. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be doing a seminar on Corvette Today at this Bloomington Gold show in St. Louis. So make sure you put that on your calendar. Our final story, Keith, Corvette engineers took the ZR1 to the tail of the dragon. That was cool.
Yeah, what a great way to end this podcast episode. Tail of the Dragon, of course, is that famous stretch of US 129 that sits on the North Carolina-Tennessee state lines. That stretch of mountain road has 318 curves over 11 miles. So we can obviously see why it'd be fun to drive it in the new ZR1.
Yeah.
The engineers actually had several ZR1s in the group, ranging from split window coupes with high wings to convertibles as well, in all bunch of colors. Knowing that they were on the Tail of the Dragon, we went to 129photos.com. We purchased 11 photos. You can do that. You purchase other people's photos, if they were on the track.
That's funny.
We grabbed those photos for our readers at CorvetteBlogger, and they've been very popular. It was a good post for us. And again, if you watch the YouTube version of this podcast, you can see them there as well.
We'll have them up there, that's for sure. You are too funny, buddy. That's awesome. Well, Keith, thanks for being back on Corvette Today, buddy. We will see you in 2 weeks, all right?
Sounds great. Everybody out there, get those Corvettes out. If you see another guy driving his Corvette, throw up that hand and wave at him, because that's what we do.
Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today. And be sure to tell your family, friends, and other Corvette enthusiasts about the Corvette Today show. And thanks to our sponsors, Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com to learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call 833-639-4231. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. Sioka Corvette at CIOCCA Corvette.com. E5 Wheels at E5Wheels.com. IntelliSense at IntelliSense.com. Also, Aerolarri Wheels. Get $100 off your purchase with the promo code CT111 at Aerolarri.com. Mark Falter with the Retirement Income Hour podcast. And Hendrick Chevrolet in Kansas City at ChevyUSA.com.
Thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. If you'd like to contact Steve with ideas for Corvette Today, you can email him at stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Garrett has 2 R's and 2 T's. That's stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Also, sign up for email notifications at corvettetoday.ck.page. Follow Steve and the show on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Threads at Steve Garrett DJ. Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today.